What's up, boys? We're back with some more zombies. Today we're going to be doing a full freezing arrow caster build. So the main thing here is that the synergy with the engineer, every time he hits with his electrocution ability, which is this one with the evolutions there, we don't have enough points to reduce the cooldown on that yet since it's level 5 for that one. But every time he hits with it, he will drop a frost arrow from the sky nearby. And then also when you evolve the bear trap ability, that one will shoot out a bunch of frost arrows everywhere, and then we're going to add in the medic with that as well since she has a decent number of frost stuff. So to start with, we could go engineer or huntress. I think we'll just go ahead and grab the huntress. Let's go wasteland, endless, and try out some level 2. For badges, we want the glacier for a lot of ice damage and some extra ice tagging. Tough badge feels pretty nice. It's a huge boost to survivability, helps out a lot with one-shots. And then we're just getting some nice caster stats, area and duration, and some ability cooldown reduction. So one thing is, I don't think we want to start with the bear trap because it starts off with a very high cooldown and the targeting on it is a bit wonky. It'll scatter a bunch of traps around you, not really on any enemies in particular, and then you'll have to pull them through the traps to get them to set off. So we probably want to start with the rain of arrows if we can to get some decent AoE that will actually target enemies. And the evolution for that causes it to drop an extra full cloud of arrows for every 10% area duration you have, or ability duration you have. And we start off with 20% of that from that badge I showed earlier, and we'll probably be getting a bit more later on as well, so we can immediately go up to 3 of those at once. Oh yeah, one other thing. The thing at the bottom, 10 or more tags, enemies have a chance to become perma-frozen, and then damage to them kills them instantly. That seems to work on boss enemies, which makes it incredibly powerful if you can get a lot of the frost tags, which we will be doing here, I think. So that's the single one. We don't want that, although the electric tag is nice. We want the other one to make a ton of those clouds, so I'm just going to grab probably some arrow penetration, since we're eventually going to get the freezing arrows for her weapon for even more ice. So here we go, multiple, +1 for every 10% duration, and we're probably at, oh, we actually have 145%, so we just straight up get 5 times as many now? That's kind of insane. Yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, I think that is the starting ability then. So now we'll grab the bear trap so we can evolve that to drop frost arrows for us. Or bear trap. So we're looking for medic and engineer. Let's do some rerolls. There's the engineer. He has 2 abilities, I think, that can be converted to frost. The huge energy dome that constantly ticks around, and then his little lightning turrets. The electric turrets. We're going to grab the EMP grenade for now. The turrets, when you convert them into frost, they get a tiny area because it cuts the radius in half, which I believe will take... Let's banish crit damage for weapons, never going to use that, and then take the rare dodge chance. I believe cutting the radius of a circle in half reduces the total area by about 75%. So it's actually extremely difficult to hit enemies with those once you turn them into frost. So I'm not sure if that's even worth it. But let's go ahead and grab the energy shield. That one's fantastic at all times and doesn't have any major drawbacks. So yeah, I'm not really sure if the freezing turrets are worth it. It will at least increase the elemental tag a bit to make your other abilities stronger, but the turrets themselves I feel like become a lot weaker once you do that. Out of these, I think energy shield is stronger and they're pretty close. Let's see, the mod ship is pretty good with something later on where you reduce your cooldowns when you hit with critical weapon attacks. Let's banish the medkit, and I think we'll take the Sapphire Gem. It's not great right now, but it's a lot of different ability stats, and it will be decent as we scale up our tags throughout the run, I think. Here we can take, I guess, a bow level for now. Electrocution, we need that to trigger the freezing arrows. And then that one's getting kind of close to an evolution. More energy shields. The unique mechanic with this map is that you can actually pull enemies through those worms as they come up. So with some very strong slowing from high level freeze or chemical, it makes it a lot easier to position those to drag enemies into them as well, which is kind of cool. But you also have to be very wary and not walk into them. Energy shield up to level 4. And with the rain of arrows scaling with duration and the energy shield as well, duration is actually a very strong stat for us right now. Although ultimately I think the freezing arrow things that we're trying to scale for the run here won't really do a lot with it, but it does help out the early game. So here we go, Sub-Zero energy shield, enemies entering the dome are inflicted with frozen, and it also adds to the tag up here to scale all of our freezing stuff up a little bit. So we have duration. I guess we probably will grab that. It's pretty strong right now. That's actually a tough choice. I think it's better on the engineer towards the end, but probably better on the huntress right now. I think I'm going engineer then. But yeah, one other part that I forgot to mention early on is that we're going to be stacking ability cooldown on the engineer, since his ability then triggers the freezing arrows, and he also has that EMP grenade evolution that will reduce another ability's cooldown every time it explodes. So a little bit of bonus cooldown scaling there. Let's go turret, I think. And then we're going to be putting ability damage stats on the Huntress, since her abilities are the ones that are procced from the engineer's stuff going off. So EMP grenade, but this one's getting close to an evolution, so let's keep going there for now. Injured enemies, crit chance and critical damage. That's not bad. We will have a little bit of that from the Huntress stuff later on. Injure is 27% damage taken currently. However, we can banish fire. And then I really like the chocolate box. That allows you to scale up HP and then gain some crit chance. It's spread across all the survivors, but it gives you both weapon crit and ability crits, which is very useful for the... Okay, here we go. Fires few frozen arrows around on activation, and we're at 6 of them now as well. It helps with the solar panel item that gives you ability cooldown reduction whenever you crit with a weapon. That will give you a decent amount of weapon crit without having to invest in it at all, and you're of course getting the ability crit at the same time. Let's go probably electrocution to get the range and cooldown improved on that, since that will also summon frost arrows. So now every time they run over the traps, there's a bunch of freezing arrows flying around all over the screen. I'm not completely sure what they scale with. It doesn't really say anything about that on any of the upgrade screens I've looked at, so I'm not sure if the free arrows are classified as just a basic arrow from like her freezing bow, or if they are an ability like what they're triggered from or anything. So I'm really in the dark on that part, but we're just going to be scaling ability stats here, since that's all of the stuff that triggers them. EMP grenade. And then we're looking for a medic. So I guess we'll use some rerolls here. There we go. Medic has some decent freezing capabilities now. She's always had the freezing flask, well, for a while anyways. The medical drone also gives some nice defense once we get that evolved. And she has that new damage ability that can go into either chemical or freezing. Are we at the 10 yet? No, we're only 7 so far. Here's Experiment 21, her damage ability. It's currently freezing, chemical, and explosive, but later on we will have to remove the chemical from that because freezing is just too good here. Let's see. I feel like XP is kind of bad as a level up thing. Maybe if you get it from items it's decent, but we'll block that. And then here, I think just grab the health for the combined survivability plus crit chance we got from the item. Here we want more electrocution still. Passion, that's the burning one. The only triggering when 10 enemies are near is nice, but the other one has some chemical damage on it, which will synergize a little bit. We'll take the EMP here. And it will also give us some better slowing power on the chemical tag here. Currently 11%, but we can get that up a bit, and it has a small amount of damage. We can take a level in resuscitation to help out with one-shots. Probably don't need it yet, but can never be too safe. 15% chance to reduce an ability cooldown by half is not bad. Ability attacks on full health, that's kind of hard to use since we are hitting a lot of times, not really doing big damage in one hit. So let's banish something else here. Probably just that, and then grab the ability cooldown base thing. More EMP grenade, that one's getting pretty close to the evolve for even more ability cooldown reduction. We can actually get the worm right on top of those guys, help nuke them down real quick. Oops. Triple ranged attack on some of the ranged guys is kind of hard to avoid at some points. So that is the 3 random types. We want this one that reduces a random ability by 15% for even more spell casts, especially as we scale up the engineer's ability cooldown. And there's a bit of that. We can banish weapon damage. We want them to crit often, but we don't care about the damage on them. And then we'll put that on the engineer each time. And the upgrades where you choose one of the survivors still give half of that to the other ones, so they aren't completely helpless. Here we go. Activates on hit, dodge, and parry. That's not going to be super relevant, but it does give it the chemical stuff for some extra slowing. It might help a little bit. I think we'll get decently tanky later on because we have that HP/crit item. So we're getting some HP to scale up the dual crits. And then one of the evolved stim packs for the medic gives you a bunch of armor. Let's go experiment here. And for a heavy ability-based build, you're probably going to pretty easily reach 100% uptime on buffs like that at some point. Here's stim pack. We can go ahead and start grabbing some of that. Movement speed is nice, and then it has a bunch of weapon stats that might be relevant later on. I guess we always do get 2 freezing-based weapons for the build anyways, so it'll always help those out quite a bit. We can go probably the medical drone here. Ooh, ability area 5% for every 10% pickup. Some extra area on top of that. Sure. So we can slow him down a bunch, and then the worm will chunk him as he pops out. I guess we'll go some more electric turrets. Kind of hate evolving it because it's just such a huge penalty to the area though. But we need it for the absolute maximum freezing possible. More experiments. I think I like movement speed for the item that gives a bunch of different ability stats based on your movement speed. You get like ability damage, I think area and duration. Probably my favorite item in the game now. Whenever you're doing a caster build that can scale at those stats. More experiments. And more. Oh! Crap. I thought that was level 4. We just converted it to chemical, didn't I? No. I wasn't paying attention. We wanted the other one where it goes to full freezing. That sucks. Whoops. Can they at least, like, change the name slightly? It's almost exactly the same. I just looked at the name and thought I was still leveling the grenade there. So that's really going to hurt our ice tag. Chemical would be a bit better, but really wanted the maximum freezing tag. We can grab some more electric turrets here. Let's see, I actually really like the banhammer to trim down the item and upgrade pools a bit. If you can get that early on, it can really help you finding some of the cooler and rarer items for the build. And then later on, you can just swap it out for some more power once you're done with it. More stim pack. This is the healing one. We want the armor buff, I think, so we'll take electric turrets. I think I'm going to take more movements. We can't banish anything here if I want, but I think I'm fine with all of those. And the banhammer should eventually let us trim down the item pool enough that I can find the compass item with the movement scaling on it anyways. So here's the electric turret, but the range, and I think that's applied directly to the radius of the circle, because they get extremely small after that, but we will take it for the freezing. So we go from this gigantic area, and then let's see once I get a new turret out. Look how tiny that is, that's insane. Yeah, that's like 1/4 of the size of it. It's so small after that. Yeah, that has gotta be a reduction to the radius itself. It is so small now, and we have a decent amount of area too with the pickup item right there. So let's see, we can banish one thing every time for free. And then, I don't care about any of these too much, but we do have plenty of rerolls actually. Let's see, Magnet gives a bunch of cooldown and then we pick up for the area thing. That's fine. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, but it's pretty solid right now. Let's get medical drone that's close to the evolve. So here's the defense drone. Every 30 seconds it'll block one hit, and it also gives us more health regen. Still giving the healing one every time. Let's go into the bow, try and get that up to freezing. I guess handgun as well can go into freezing eventually. A bunch of stuff I don't really care about right now. I guess some arrow pin. Decent ability crit chance. I'm fine with that. And we'll put that on the Huntress since we're trying to proc her abilities and trigger a ton of arrows. More bow. Here we go, 100 armor for its duration, and eventually we'll be able to keep that up permanently. So that'll be a ton of survivability and some decent utility sets. We can put our free banish on that weird explosive thing. Toxified is okay, we can do better. Oh, here we go, solar panel. Weapon critical hits have a 50% chance to reduce all current ability cooldowns by 0.1. Does have a cooldown, but it still lets you get a lot more of those out as your crit chance goes up. Combos very nicely with the other item, the chocolate box as well. We'll take the multi-shot, and then that can eventually go into the freezing arrows. Multi-shots. We can eventually evolve the decoy into another chemical ability to improve the slows on those a little bit and a bit of extra damage over time as well. But I don't think it's necessary. Kind of want to get all of the freezing stuff going first. That's actually 10% ability area, so it's twice as good as that. So, if we're keeping that item, I actually probably just want to banish that, I guess. And then duration or pickup? Probably pickup. I guess handgun here. Can banish whatever, one of these, and then I don't think I care about any of those either. Mod ship is not bad to go with The solar panel, I don't know if it's amazing though. Gaslighter's pretty good, but it's just pure damage. I guess I will take the mod chip. That one's getting kind of close to an evolution. Level 5. Explosive, I think the other one has something to do with the kinetic debuff, so that would probably be more useful. Multi-shots. Here we go. The arrow penetration hits guarantee an injured status. May as well take that. 40% extra damage taken, so that's pretty solid. And I don't think that really does much for us anyways. I think I like health to scale up our survivability and crit at the same time. We might want some attack speed at some point for the solar panel, if I ever get a very good roll on that. So I'm waiting to banish some of that stuff. We can get the syringe gun. Need to get that one fully leveled up in order to grab her breathing flasks. Let's finish that. I don't think I want any of these, so we'll skip that. The electrified one is not bad. Transferring the stun effect to other nearby enemies is pretty useful. Multi-shots. Is that guy moving while channeling the cone? Explosive arrows, nope. We'll take some taser so that we can get faster attack speed for the solar panel item. Let's go syringe here. There we go, freezing arrows. Fires multiple projectiles it can pierce with her penetration thing, and then it adds more to the ice tag. Movement speed. Can banish that, and then I don't think I care about any of these. That's okay, but there's a better version of that, the wizard hat, I think, when you're stacking some of the elements super hard. Freezing arrows, get the cooldown on that up a bit. That one's almost ready, but we can get some more freezing arrows. Another syringe level. Syringe. I don't know why I keep messing that up. So there's the freezing blast, that'll let us get a lot more of the freezing tag, and as we ramp up our attack speed with the mod chip, it'll also attack pretty quickly as well. Don't think I care about any of these. Retaliation is actually not bad, but I don't think I care for this build. Freezing flasks. So I think every aspect of this goes up as you add more tags to it. So the 28% chance to apply on every hit, the 43% slow, and then the 14% chance for the permafrozen, and then I think also the 161% damage at the bottom. So every tag is actually pretty helpful when you're trying to apply as many effects as possible and also get the insta-kill to trigger a lot. So unfortunately, converting the medic's ability into chemicals is going to end up being pretty bad. I'll get some more area here, I think. But it seems like even with that blunder, the build is still pretty powerful. More freezing. Freezing. We can banish that since it's boring, and then that's decent if I want to replace anything with that. I never got the compass, which I'll definitely want, probably to replace the banhammer. And then I can maybe replace the chick magnet, although it's pretty good. Not sure. I guess magnets are fairly rare, so I might replace that eventually. Let's banish health regen, that's pretty weak as a passive ability, and then probably some crit damage onto the Huntress. Let's go Taser, get that attack speed up. Tesla attacks pretty fast, and it has a sort of chain lightning effect on it, so that'll be nice for triggering the solar panel. Then once we get to the laser, it'll just be constantly attacking and triggering that for us. Tesla cooldown. Oh, that's weapon for the engineer. Tesla. There's so many, it's hard to get to the item now. So we can banish something here. Don't think I'll want that. I don't think I want any of these. Very good, but just plain damage is kind of boring. Ability cooldown, put that on the engineer, and then grab some more Tesla. So Blaster is the AoE thing, Laser's the thing that constantly attacks. We still haven't found the compass item, have we? No. That's the one that gives you a bunch of different ability sets based on your movement speed. The banhammer should be making that a lot more likely as well with the sheer number of things we've banned from the pool already. Laser... Laser... Let's banish that. Did I... Okay, there we go. And then I guess we could do some rerolls. I would probably replace the magnet or the banhammer, depending on the good stuff left. Nope. That's the multi-tag thing that's pretty good. That would give +4 to ice, electric, and chemical all at the same time. But I want to find the other thing first, probably. Nope. We skip those. And then keep banishing and eventually should find it at some point. More laser. Decoy. ability cooldown. Yup. Put that on the Ingi again. More decoy. Let's banish that. And we still can't find the compass. That's insane. We'll skip that. Already got a bunch of movement speed ready for it, but it's taking so long. Decoy. Health is not bad as a passive. I think I like that actually. So we can help prevent one-shots and get some dual crit chance at the same time. More health if I want that. The decoy's getting pretty close to the evolve. Let's try and finish that. Rare crit chance. That's kind of nice for the solar panel. I think I will grab a bit of that, and I think the engineer attacks the fastest with his laser. Still no compass, Jesus. Let's banish that. And then we're kind of getting swarmed. I might want to replace something now. Just for damage. Gaslighter, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't remember if there's anything slashing actually. Oh, the bear trap. So we actually can do 5, so that would be 100% damage. Yeah, it's pretty good. Put that on the chick magnet, I guess. Oh my god, there is so much on the screen right now. And we somehow still haven't found the compass after I've banished over half the items in the entire game and rerolled a ton. So here's the toxic decoy that'll help synergize a bit with the slow and damage over time here. Yep. Armor XP pickup. Pickup is okay, but we might start needing resuscitation levels now with the insane number of enemies on the screen. Weapon cooldown for rare. That's okay for the Huntress and Medic. I don't think it'll do much on the Engineer. But we also have ability cooldown, which is what I'm trying to stack, so I'm probably going to take that if they're pretty close. Put that on the NG. I think with how the laser works, it fires for a pretty long time, which is like 12 seconds, and then it only has a 1 second reload, but the mod chip is going to stack up quite a bit from how fast I'm attacking, so that's naturally going to have a pretty low reload versus how long it fires anyways. So like attack speed or crit chance is decent on it, but I think cooldown is bad for it probably. But then for the Huntress and the Medic, they attack once and then they instantly start reloading, I think. So it's not bad on them if you want to get a little bit more freezes out, as well as other weapon effects like the solar panel. Let's go more resuscitation here. Jesus, how hard is it to find the compass? Let's banish that and skip again. Ability damage is not bad there. We can go ahead and grab the evolution for probably the collect XP and health packs. The damage on that is nice, but cutting your HP in half would probably just kill you after you stack that up a few times. This one feels like it has more longevity for a very strong run overall. And also, it'll probably heal you to full every time with the health packs scattered around the map. That's for the medic. And also, these infinite ones only apply to the one character, I think. None of these are great, though. I guess we'll take a bit of ability damage on him. No, we'll go cooldown on the medic because that will apply more of the frost effect which then gives us more chances to do the permafreeze instant kill on bosses, which is probably my main source of damage on them at this point. We just want to trigger that as much as possible now. Rare health is decent. How much duration am I at on the Huntress for this arrow range? 173, so that's 8 volleys every time. And we're not really even stacking that, just kind of incidentally getting some. I guess pickup range for the area. Might have to do a full arrow rain build at some point, just stacking duration on her and getting as many volleys as possible. Let's go pickup range again. Time to go banish another item with our banhammer. But one of these days we will find it. Maybe. Two is kind of small. Maybe just some more cooldown for the Huntress. That is the only way we can get the bear traps out, which do summon a bunch of arrows as well. Bit more pickup, I guess. That AoE up so we can hit the entire screen. Oh my god, those turrets are still tiny after all of that area. How much area does he have now? 207, which is apparently diminished down to 159? They're at a 4 range, which barely hits anything apparently. More area, yup. Man, this build would have been so good if I had my freezing flasks from the medic, where we converted them into chemical accidentally. Another item to ban. Try and bait all the charges. There's so much stuff I can't even move right now. I'll have to come back for that later, maybe. As like 2 explodey guys, 2 charges, 2 axe guys right on top of the item. Another banish for something, I guess, here. Still no compass, my god. So many enemies I can't move. Let's get some... I guess... No, we don't have the movement scaling yet. I guess it's just crit damage on the engineer then. I can't move! There's literally no path over here! Please! I guess weapon cooldown for her. For more freezing arrows and solar panel triggers here. There's nowhere to move! We can get the magnet over here. That's probably a couple levels with how much XP is around the map. There's just nowhere to freaking move, man. I don't think any of these are super good. Probably some damage on the NG. Ability damage on the Huntress is decent. Ability damage or duration. Let's go here on the Huntress. How have I not seen the compass yet? This is insane! I've banished almost every item in the game. Either dodge or attack speed here? I don't think you can banish infinites, right? Yeah, no. You have 17% dodge. It's getting pretty hard to avoid stuff. I'll take a little bit of that, I guess. I can't move! There's literally no path! It's literally just an entire screen of zombies everywhere. Crit damage for the NG's decent. A bit more area. Still no compass. How is that possible? There's gotta be some mechanic where the items you can find in a run are seeded or something. Because I've had a couple runs like this now where there's like 1 or 2 items you're looking for, and you go through like 50 different screens of them with a bunch of them banished and you just never find them. Which seems very unlikely. Decent crit for the NG if we want to take that. Sure. Get that laser crit up a bit more. Ability crit chance. Banish that, and skip again. Definitely feels like there's something weird going on with items ability cooldown onto the engineer. We've gone through that many screens, that many banishes, without seeing it a single time. That just seems so unlikely. That's for the medic. They're almost all for the medic, so I guess we will take that. More area. Can't see the guy. There's so much stuff on the screen. More area. Ability damage is not bad, but that works on everyone. Ability damage for the NG, I guess? Finally! After we've banished a bajillion items. Let's banish another one for good luck. And then I think we can replace a banhammer now. All of these are extremely good, so we'll take the compass. Put that on the banhammer that has served me well. That'll give us a bunch of ability stats now. 17% damage, area, and duration. And we can finally start taking movement speed again. The nice thing about that one is that normally if you take a level up for like ability, area, or duration or something, it'll be for just one of the survivors. So the other ones will have like the 50% reduced effect, but that one just gives the full thing to everyone. I don't know if 2 would be worth it. So 2 would be 1/5 of that, so it would be 0.2% for everyone. It's not terrible, probably just grab some health though. Weapon attack speed, I'll grab a bit of that for the NG laser. Man, that was like 53 minutes of constantly banishing items to find just that one thing. Probably the main one I was even looking for. It doesn't seem like it's even possible to get the freezing turrets up to a decent area. We've gotten so much area now with both of the area scaling items. And they're still completely tiny. So I guess we probably don't care about the items now. I think I have basically everything. Yeah. Ability cooldown for the engineer. Some health or pickup. I'll grab a bit more area. I can't even tell if the area is doing anything though. 253%, and it doesn't really feel like my abilities are getting much bigger. Weapon cooldown, that would have to be on Huntress or Medic. Probably just take the movement speed, to be honest, to scale everyone up. I guess a bit of armor to go with the HP, and then some more health. Magical Hat could scale up the freeze a bit. Is there anything I could drop for that? We could eventually maybe drop the Gaslighter. If I go for 0 damage and just go for only the proc kills. It seems like they're getting very difficult to kill, so that might be the play. We're at 15% chance for the permafreeze. And that'll also scale up the other CC effects on electric and chemical. So that brings me up to 17%. Not sure if that's worth it, but if we go long enough, it might be. There's just so much stuff, I can't even go for them. Cooldown on the NG. More NG cooldown. Area for everyone. Don't care. Well, we revived from unavoidable stuff, ability cooldown armor. These only work on just that one character, so I'll take a global effect here. There's so much stuff on the screen, I don't know how much I can avoid at this point. I can't move. Bit more movement, health, or armor. Armor is probably the most survivability at this point, since we already stacked a lot of health. Oh, I'm just dead from unavoidable damage, rip. We got pretty far. I did mess up the build a bit and lost out on some of the ice tags by accidentally taking the medic's chemical conversion over the freezing. That would have been a pretty nice increase. We were at 34% chance to slow by 49%, and then 17% chance to instant kill, and that would have been a decent bit better for all of the freezing weapons. And we also would have had another weapon dealing ice damage to even apply that stuff in the first place. So decent loss by making that mistake. Let's see, the hunters had 46 million on arrow range, 74 on the bear trap, and 35 on the freezing arrows, which we weren't really scaling up that much, but we did have the mod chip plus solar panel to use abilities more often. For engineer, we had 37 and 35 million on the energy shield electrocution. That's a freezing skill, and then that was triggering the freezing arrows with the synergy. 43 million on the tiny electric turrets, actually not too bad. But I feel like those could be better if the area wasn't insanely small, even though we had massive area on the build. 39 on the laser attack. We had a ton of area from the compass plus the wrench, but it didn't really seem to make that much of a difference on the turrets. Medic had the experiments, which were accidentally changed into chemical but should have been freezing, and then freezing flasks for some extra mod chip stacking as well as freezing applications. Big freezing effect, a bit of electrify and chemical for more crowd control on top of that. Some kinetic for some decent damage debuffing from the Huntress stuff, and then a little bit of slashing for some percent damage over time from her bear traps. A bunch of levels for everyone, so we got even more meta progression, and it will become a bit easier. So we got 10 points here, 18 on the Huntress, wow. So we could have gotten more like freezing arrows or... Oh man, arrow rain. We didn't have any points on that, and that was one of our biggest damage. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Could get some cooldown on the decoy. Extra arrow penetration so the freezing arrows would hit more. Or some cooldown reduction on them. For engineer, we got 14 points, which could have gotten us some more energy shield. -5 cooldown, wow. Could have gotten some more electric turret. That was a lot of duration and cooldown for that. Would have been actually very high damage for that. Electrocution, we could get the cooldown for that for even more freezing arrow procs there. Then medic, another 15 points. We could get some more freezing flasks. We're actually mostly done with her for this build, so couldn't improve her too much, but the other one's got some big improvements, and as well as some general points. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.